past, fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. And now, whenever we last left off with this series, Izuku Midoriya, or Izuki Midoriya, my bad, a lot of things have occurred. The USJ attack, it happened, and there were very little survivors. Now, let me think of a number estimate. There were possibly around 750 people, and somewhere between 800 people. That was before All Might and the Pro Heroes showed up. And there were not many survivors. There were only about, let's say, 3 to 5 survivors. And let's say for story's sake, Aizawa was one of them. And you guys might, let's say you guys will be able to pick the next one, or at least the 5th survivor. And I'm quite curious to see who you guys will think of, because I don't believe you guys understand my thought process for what I'm turning the characters into. Now, we will pick up with Izuki Midoriya. Her in the back of a helicopter, as it finally does actually land. And she's sitting there with her head in her hands, crying, realizing that she couldn't even keep the one promise to Mitsuki that she said. Bakugo's dead because of her. And now, what's going to happen? The organization, she's going to make them pay. That being the one thought to her mind. As she actually does go to walk off, getting out of the helicopter and actually going to walk away. As we do have Shinsho and Monoma, who actually do ask her where she's going. Her pointing this headset off and tossing it back towards the ground, slamming it down and breaking it, turning and saying that somebody died who was close to her, so she's gonna go beat the shit out of somebody. Or probably just go kill an entire room full of mercs, something to make her feel better. Now, they actually do tell her to stop. Something good did come out of this. Her asking exactly what. As Shinsho, he tosses the co-pilot onto the ground in front of her. The person landing face first on the ground and having their glasses break. As they do actually look up towards her. Her, covered in dry blood, and with a very pissed off look on her face. As she actually does do one thing, pulling them up by their suits, and immediately walking over to the edge of the building, before dangling them over it. Before doing one thing, pulling them up higher as Izuki grabs them by their leg, and lets go. The person swinging down and hanging upside down. Both these two, Shinsho and Monoma, looking at each other, before just actually looking back at what she's doing, leaning back against the helicopter. Now, Izuki begins to ask a few questions, asking exactly who do they work for. The person, they're very, very scared. And they simply just state that they can't tell her, otherwise they'll be killed. Izuki faking letting him go, quickly just letting him move down a bit before pulling back up. The person screaming, as she states that she'll kill them right now. And she does want answers, as they do actually go on stating that they work for Advanced Idea Mechanics, or AIM. That is what their organization is called, them pleading and begging her to let them live. Izuki, she just stands there for a second, before tossing them back down onto the roof, the person landing and almost kissing the ground, and being thankful that it is there. Her then just stating that he better have some good explanations for this, otherwise the next time he's going down, and not by the stairs. The person just standing on their feet, and backing away, backing into Monoma and Shinsho, as he does actually turn around, and see both of these two. Now, he doesn't find them to be very intimidating, until he does actually see the robotic arm, and put two and two together. He is the project that escaped 2 years ago, the Winter Soldier. He's the simple subject who went on a bloodbath. He has killed a lot of people, and buried a facility underneath someone's feet. Now, the person begins to spill it. All the information they know, where their headquarters is, and exactly what their orders were. To bring in one simple person. However, that all failed. And they were also given a secondary order. Take out All Might and bring him in, because they believe that they have technology that would allow them to copy his quirk. That intriguing her, asking exactly how do they know about his one-for-all ability. The man looking up quite confused, asking what exactly is one-for-all. Her rolling her eyes, as she cocks back her hand and smashes him directly across the face, knocking him out. Now, these two do look back at each other, asking her exactly what does she want to do. Fuck. Sorry. Still trying to think. Aim. Aim. Are either of you familiar with that? No. But most likely there's that way he's staring at us. He knows who both of us are, obviously. So I'm guessing that this AIM organization, they don't logo their equipment. Smart move on their part. So, Advanced Idea Mechanics. Sounds interesting. Advanced. Monoma going on to state that, considering the way things are nowadays, advanced has actually quite a big meaning to it. Kind of like the pills he does take. What do you mean? Him actually bring up a small tube, and stating that these things, call them performance enhancers if you like. Basically, they allow him to improve upon certain quirks whenever he does copy them. Along with that, he's able to maintain their abilities for almost roughly around 3 to 5 hours, depending on how potent the ability might be, and how many he does take. If he takes 2, they might last for more than 12 hours. And he does actually still have a few of these things stashed around somewhere. Quirk-enhancing drugs? Are you kidding me? Don't think of them as quirk enhancers. They're more like boosters. No drawbacks, no high. Clearer mind, better performance. Plus, you don't get that quick rush. Anyways, I'm still trying to figure out this. Him clutching his hand, before moving it back towards the helicopter and crushing a piece of it, and blowing it up in his hand. saying this strength quirk, along with this strange bullet bouncing ability. Him socking himself in the chest, as nothing happens, and there's barely even a shockwave or a gust of wind, as Izuki states that that might be a ricochet ability. Ricochet. Do you feel like you moved at all, or no? Okay, so it might be a possible absorption ability. Can you redirect energy, or no? Okay, so it might just be shock absorption then. Bummer. And here I thought I might have gotten another good quirk. Anyways. So. We know where their facility might be. This guy obviously needs to head back. And whenever he does, things could get more interesting. We can go for a break-in. And find out more. If we break into their facility right now, they won't be expecting it. They've lost a whole lot of men. And even then, I'm just saying, we can get them by surprise. Sure, let's go right now. No weapons, no guns. Just fly by the seat of our pants and raw skill. Monoma stating that they do have a super strength. And how many pills do you have left? Touche. I left the rest back at my own little stash point. I thought I wouldn't need them, but even then I did have to use 2. So I do have a few hours. If I take some more, I can prolong the effects. As long as I don't copy any more quirks, I should have a few days. Good. Keep it that way. Don't copy quirks, she says. Then looking at the Winter Soldier. And then saying, and then him. Why did he go after the helicopter? Him saying that they needed a way out. The grappling hooks obviously wouldn't have worked. Even then. Why was she so concerned about that guy back there? The two getting into a bit of a spout. As using the helicopter and their brand new captive, they do leave. And they actually do fly to a place outside the city. And land the helicopter there. The Winter Soldier has an abandoned airfield. And not many people would know about it. Especially if you paint the airstrip to look different. And put up certain items to make it look like an abandoned place, or simply just a bit more busy. Now, they did land the helicopter, and begin a process of pushing it into a hangar. It was a bit more difficult, but with their super strength, they were all able to manage. Now, with that being said, they do actually hang out at this hangar for a bit of time, and let the heat die down. As we actually have Izuki on her phone, watching the news. Alright, sorry about the cut there, guys. I tried figuring this out in my head and explaining it, but I figured something out that I did forget to mention. Ochako was one of the survivors. Now, UA, or the news, does a report on what happened at UA and the survivors. There was Momo Yairozu, Mr. Aizawa, the Class 1A teacher and Pro Hero Eraserhead. There was also Ochako Yuraka, and this being where Izuki is actually relieved, hearing Bakugo Katsuki's name being said. Explaining on the news that Bakugo Katsuki, he was a very, very lucky young man. Whenever he was brought to the hospital, it was found that a bullet was lodged in his head, and that somehow he did manage to survive, and he is expected to pull through. Now, they also do name the 5th survivor, who most likely, which I believe you guys will probably vote or predict, to be Todoroki, which I would not be surprised by. or possibly another Class 1 character who I did not already kill off. But basically this character would survive, and some of the other ones will remain dead, other than the ones that I do actually have plans for and who were captured. Now, with that being said, let us continue. As soon as Izuki does realize that Bakugo is alive, she actually says, "Call Mitsuki." And Mitsuki, she's at the hospital, as her and Ochako are both actually sitting down and having a light conversation, as Mitsuki's phone does actually ring, and she does actually pick up. "Hello? Uh, hey, Mitsuki." Her beginning to shout, "What the hell happened?" Sorry." Her going off on a bit of a rant. She never wanted Bakugo brought into this. That was the one thing she asked for. Continuing to talk and yell at the person on the other end of the line. A doctor popping his head in and asking her to please quiet down. This is a hospital. Her probably going off to shout or say to the doctor, "This isn't a fucking library." Or something clever like that. Now, Ochako does just watch this happen. As, eventually Mitsuki does calm down. And, Izuki does actually begin to try and give an explanation. Until you actually have, let's say, Monoma walk over, since he could hear that from all the way across the hangar. Him just leaning up against the wall and trying to get a grip on his newfound strength. Him walking over, grabbing Izuki's phone and putting on speaker, stating that a lot more people would have died if it was not for them. This being quite confusing, as Mitsuki is told to put the phone on speaker. More people are around her, are they not? You're lucky I'm at a hospital. Besides, whatever happened at the USJ was quite strange. Her then putting the phone on speaker. And Ochako hearing the people on the other end of the line. As Izuki does actually begin to talk. What happened today was not their fault. But they found out exactly who attacked the USJ. And her saying that she's very sorry that she could not stop Bakugo from getting shot. Now, Ochako does actually speak up, asking who is that. Izuki actually freezing for a second. As Mitsuki does introduce is the Izuki as Bakugo's, well, basically younger sister. That being a bit more confusing. As she does actually go off, stating that she was there at the USJ. Is she right? Her nodding her head on the other end of the line before saying yeah. She was. In fact, they all were. Now, Shinsho does eventually get in on the conversation, and begin to explain things a bit more. Had they not been at the USJ that day, everyone would be dead. The students, they also would have been attacked by the League of Villains. And even then, if either one of those threats were not there, the other one might have been. So, they're just lucky that more people survived instead of everyone being dead. Even then, what would she have done? In their shoes. Him waiting for a response, not getting one. And Ochako, she's not too sure what to say. Simply just thanking them for saving her life. As Izuki does actually ask how Bakugo is doing. That being where Mitsuki does actually state that he's at least stable for right now. He was out of surgery a few hours ago. And the doctor says that he might not wake up for a while. Now, with that, it's quite astonishing. Her asking about what happened. And simply just being told that they're not too sure. For what Ochako said, a man fired a shot, and it went straight through Kirishima's head. Now, Ochako, she did somewhat see that happen. However, she was also concerned about staying hidden. Where she was. 13 was killed by a villain. And the organization, they finished her off. But even then, it's just insane. Asking about what's going on. Then beginning to explain to Ochako about everything going on. Basically, secret assassin organization wanting to make super soldiers. That's a whole long ass story that she will be told. And Izuki basically explaining that Bakugo got dragged into this, and that soon they're going to be attacking the facility these people are from. Now, with that being said, the phone does actually get hanged up, and we do actually have Ochako, who does actually go to walk out of the room and leave, saying goodbye as Mitsuki does actually sit with Bakugo, who does actually begin to somewhat twitch, his eye moving, or his face. Now, you also do actually have some hand movements, as we do have Ochako walking over to Momo's hospital room. As Momo, she actually does hide the mirror she created, and watches Ochako does actually knock on her door. Now, she does actually say to come in, as Ochako walks in, and there you actually have Momo, with bandages on her arm and parts of her face, along with actually covering her neck. Now, she does actually ask Momo how she is doing, and Momo says that she cannot really complain. She's alive. However, she does just wish that that person gave her a warning about what happened. Now, this is whenever Ochako does actually say that that person, who's she talking about? Her then going on to describe a woman, and saying that this was what they looked like, and this is what they did. Explaining that the blast probably could have killed her, and that she's just thankful to be alive. Now, Ochako does actually ask about her face, as Momo goes on explaining. She was hit by a piece of flaming shrapnel. Basically, her face, half of her face might be left heavily scarred and burned. And ironically, heard someone going on to joke that it's her bad half, that she does still have her photogenic side. Now, in all actuality, Momo, she is scared about what happened. And she's in fear about it. The chances of her getting out alive from that situation were almost 1 in 1,000, or 1 to 1,000,000. And everyone else near her, Jiro, Denki, they're dead. Whenever she woke up, she was in the hospital. And the doctors explained that Denki and Jiro were not lucky, that they died at the scene. And that was whenever Momo, she cried for a few hours, before she was at least able to talk to her father and mother. Neither one of them could show up. They were out of the country. But even then, they're going to be on their way back right now. They're currently taking a private jet from somewhere in America, or let's say, I would say America or Russia, but even then. Let's just say that it's America. And they'll be here within like the next day. Now, with that, you actually have Momo who does actually go back to watching what's on TV. As we actually do have something going on. The news talking about the hero killer, and how he's just moved on to a different city. As they do actually show some of the things he's talked about, along with a video that somebody recorded. The hero killer simply just talking about how His ideology is simple. There are too many false heroes, and what they do in the society is look for fame and glory. Now, with that, Momo actually does begin to watch, hearing some of the things that Stain is talking about. And Ochako, it actually does catch her attention too. Stain going on to explain that All Might is a true hero. Even though he is world famous, he continues to do hero work every single day. Heroes should aspire to be just like him. And even then, if he does have free time, or free time as he puts in air quotes, he most likely would spend it in solitude. So he doesn't purposely seek it out. Now, he does continue rambling, the rambles of a madman. However, they make sense to Momo and Ochako, what he's talking about. It does seem obvious when you look at it. And, well, let's just say that they're beginning to get inspired. Now then, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I will catch you guys in the next part.